Hey, welcome once again to the Golden Rule. You know about the Golden Rule, right? It was a little instruction. It was given by a man named Jesus Christ, who is God. And he said, in essence, treat other people the way you want them to treat you. And this is just a part of our whole effort to see Detroit Lakes become a beacon of righteousness. And righteousness involves a lot of things. It's a big fancy word, but what it basically means is doing things right. And God defines what's right and what's wrong. I have with me today Lin Peterson.
Hi, Barry. Nice to see you.
Brother.
Thanks for having me.
This is so exciting. I'm glad you're here. And how long have you been saved?
I was 22. Yes, I do. I was 22 years old. I was raised in a Lutheran church and never ever made that step. And my mom prayed for me for many years, and I just remember I was going to NDSU in Fargo, and I was miserable, and I knew that I had to do something. And one night in bed by myself, I just prayed that God would just take over my life and forgive me for what I've done, and be the captain of the ship from then on.
And it was real?
It was real.
Because
here I am. I'm 60 and I haven't changed that. So it must have been real. If it wasn't, I would have bailed.
Yeah, well, you beat me by 11 years. I was 33 when I got saved.
Well, hey, at least you did it.
Yeah, for sure. And I feel sorry for the people that don't. You know, and I'm going to tell you, if you're watching right now and you're not saved yet, I can guarantee you this. When you give your life to the Lord, not if, because you're going to, when you give your life to the Lord, the first thing you're going to say is, why did I wait so long? Why did I wait so long? Anyway, we're trying to interject into the lives of the community, and especially those that are viewing, the whole concept of living a righteous life and what it means and what the Golden Rule is all about. And so I've just asked Lin to come and share a few thoughts that he might have, a few of his personal experiences. So Lin, why don't you just go ahead and take your liberty?
Sure. So I'll start with my job, because I do it 40, 50 hours a week. So I'm a sales rep for a chemical company. And I travel a 3-state area, and I call manufacturers, and I sell chemicals for big paint lines like John Deere and folks like that, big plants. And in our business, the chemicals, let's just say they cost $1 for a pound of chemical. The customer will spend $7 using it. Okay, so what they're really buying is my advice for that $7 portion. So it's really important that I keep the customer's best interest in mind, because if I direct them wrong, either intentionally or unintentionally, I can line my pockets pretty big.
Do people do it intentionally?
I would say in our business, there's probably 50% think like I do, where I'm a servant of people, and I think of their best interests, not mine. And I would say there's another group, just like in any demographic, you're going to have some that think that way and some that are more worried about the dollar.
Yeah, I didn't mean to cut in on you. Go ahead.
No, but that's the reality of it. And so I've always taken a lot of pride in the fact that I make sure I'm doing what's best for the customer, not for me. So, with that, I get a lot of loyalty. Most of my customers, I've been in this particular company for 20 years, they have stuck with me for all those years. So, and if I see a new one that, hey, I can't help you, I can't do any better than what you're doing, I'll tell them that. If I think I can, I tell them that as well. And I'm okay to walk away from things, because I'm looking for people with issues, and if they have problems, they want me to help them, I'm there for that. So that's from my job standpoint. A couple things that have hit close to home. I wrote it, you'd asked me about this, and I thought, a lot of things have happened lately about the Golden Rule. And
is that right?
Oh, yeah. So I'll give you a quick one. So imagine you're going to the Holiday Inn for dinner with your wife, and the wind is blowing hard from the north. We park in the parking lot, hopefully far enough away from cars, whatever. My wife opens the door, and the wind takes the door, whacks the car next to me. Lovely, right? Little dent, wasn't huge. Oh, brother, whose car is this? I have no idea. So I could have walked.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
And I've seen dents in my cars, and like that happened in a parking lot, but nobody said anything.
Right.
So I wrote a note with my name and phone number. Really sorry. If you want this dent fixed, give me a call. We'll take care of it.
Yeah.
So I left a note on the car. But I could have walked away from that, right? And this lady, it happened to be a lady because she did contact me.
Right.
No one would have known the difference. So that was kind of something that kind of hit home. It was just a week ago. So.
But that's treating other people the way you want them to treat you. If somebody
Correct.
came and dinged your car, you'd at least want to have some idea as to how it happened.
Right, and then I can decide, it's not worth it, or let it go, or yeah, that's pretty bad. Let's get this fixed. But at least I would have had that. So anyway, that was just something that happened recently. And then on a bad note, I bought a car 2 years ago, used, and the dealership down in Minneapolis hit a couple things that I did not pick up when I test drove this car, and it cost me about $3,000 to get this car corrected out of my own pocket. And as I look back, that dealership knew exactly what was wrong with this car.
Really?
Yeah. And I'm thinking, that was bad.
That's bad.
That was bad.
That's
right?
an example of how not to do it.
How not to do it, you know. And in America and wherever we are, we trust honesty and integrity in business relationships, friends, family. I mean, that's what makes our society work correctly. And if all we are is out for our own good, society really doesn't work. To me, I mean, we were founded on Christian principles here, and we're expected to operate that way. Now, I have screwed up. I know I have over the years, but
and we all have the propensity to do that. The possibility is there. I remember I was working at a county fair in Bradenton, Florida, and the guy with me wanted a hot dog, so I went across to Boy Scout and ordered a hot dog, and I gave it to him, and he said, "Oh man, I forgot my wallet." And they said, "Well, pay us later." Well, he forgot. And he's driving home. He got about 5 miles home, and he remembered. And he turned around, drove back to the fair, and paid the $1.25. I said, I trust that guy with $1 million.
Sure you would. Absolutely.
You said this morning you were reading a Bible verse. What was it?
Oh, yeah. So in Proverbs, there's 31 chapters in Proverbs.
Right.
There's 31 days in the month usually. So today, for giggles, I just opened a Proverbs 11 because it's May 11th, right?
Yeah.
Proverbs 11:1. And here we have this thing going today. And it's like, you know what it said? It said, dishonest scales are an abomination to the Lord, but an honest scales is his delight. So here we are talking about the golden rule.
Perfect.
And I'm like, Proverbs 11:1, right there, the very first verse I read today.
What's an abomination? Do you know it? Did you look it up? Do you know what
You
it
know
means?
what? I've always pictured an abomination as the most detestable, despicable, icky thing I hate on the planet.
Yeah.
That's an abomination.
And God says that's how he feels about cheating.
Cheating in any way.
Dishonesty.
Well, that's right.
Especially in business, not only, but especially in business, because it's easy to do that.
It's easy to do that because we're not all experts in whatever. I'm not an expert in cars. I rely on a dealership to be honest with me.
There's another verse in Proverbs, I can't quote it, I can't tell you where it is, but it says essentially, you go to buy something from somebody and you dicker down until, you're walking away with the thing. And then you tell everybody, man, what a bargain I got, Oh, that's not fair. I mean, we ought to live win-win. I want what's best for you. I don't want to take advantage of you. You got something for sale, whatever's a reasonable price, I want to pay it. And, you deserve to get what it's worth. So anyway.
And it's little things. Like I remember I sold a S10 Blazer to some folks in Frazee, and I cleaned it up as nice as I could. It was as good a shape. But before they came to get it, they were going to give me a check that evening. I filled it with gas. I just thought they'd appreciate that. It cost me $30.
And that's another thing. My wife always used to say the same thing. leave something better than you got it. If somebody loans you their car, vacuum it or wash it or fill it with gas,
right,
or something like that. It's just a nice thing to do.
I borrowed a guy's log splitter several years ago, and I noticed one of the hydraulic hoses was getting all frayed and about to blow, so I got him a new hose. So I brought it back to him better than it was. Simple thing, right?
Yeah.
Just think about the other guy.
It's so simple. We were just talking about, and I forgot what it was, just on the previous program. By the way, we record these things in advance. And also, for those of you who are new to Channel 3, maybe you haven't watched this before, there's a 4-hour package program that is renewed every week, and it runs every 4 hours, 24/7 for the entire week. So the program you're watching now, it starts on Monday and goes to Monday. I believe that's the way it is on the new programming. And so if you're watching this on Monday, this thing is going to show again another 40 times before the week is up. So if you know somebody that's, hey, Lin Peterson was on, somebody else knows him, let them know and they can watch it too. Or watch it next week. Anyway, you got anything you want to add further? Feel free, because do we have a couple of minutes left? Yeah, we got a couple of minutes left.
Well, every day we have an opportunity to do something that will touch somebody. I was talking to a highway patrolman friend of mine, and it really was, I loved it. He said, you can't, there has been so many times I've been in a restaurant with my uniform, and I'll go up to pay the bill, and the lady will say, somebody already paid your bill. And I thought, God, I've never done that, but by golly, I'm gonna. Or armed service, or somebody that's, in public service, right?
I don't know if you heard about the thing recently, and I don't know if it was here or elsewhere, but somebody's going through a drive-through, and they said to the clerk, I want to pay for the one behind me.
Right.
And the clerk, for whatever reason, kept record. There were 51 consecutive cars without breaking the chain.
Oh my God.
Can you imagine how blessed they all were?
Right.
Some paid more, some paid less.
Right.
But the bottom, it was their heart. They were willing to bless somebody they didn't even know. And can you imagine then you're in line and all of a sudden says, your thing is paid for.
That's pretty cool.
Oh.
Right.
So those are the little things that we can do every day of life. And you just have to be open to see those opportunities when they come. Well, do you want to add them?
Tip well. Tip well. Tip well. I tip well. I try to.
I heard a bad story about tipping.
Well, but it's a little thing. But it's a big thing to that person that's waiting on you.
And the thing that's really bad about it is it was referring to Christians. And a waitress said on Sunday afternoon, she says, oh, here they come.
Here they come.
These guys are the worst tippers. And that is a bad testimony.
Bad. You can't outgive God.
You can't outgive God. And we try to be chintzy and stuff. I heard a man say the other day, he played golf, 18 holes with 3 other guys. And this was several years ago. And they had caddies. They all had caddies. And so he had a $20 bill in his pocket. So he went to his co-player. He says, can you break a 20? Mm-hmm. And the guy says, I'll take care of it. And he gave each of the caddies $20.
Oh, man. That's awesome.
And this minister said, oh, did I learn a lesson? So there you have it, folks. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. And the thing is, when you do, you get blessed in the process. So, Father, I thank you for this listening audience today and every 42 times this thing airs. And I just bless them, and I pray that somehow it would impact their lives in a way that they say, I can do that too, in some way or another. Thank you, Lin, for coming.
You're welcome.
Bless you.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
God bless you. We'll see you next week.